Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Here we go again. So now there's a second human case of bird flu linked to cows in the state of Michigan. Guys, comment below, share this post to let everybody know. Stop drinking milk for now. So the bird flu has been affecting a few cows in the United States. And I know a lot of people drink milk. And let's not forget, a lot of people have dairy in their products. So milk could come from all forms of food, all sorts of food. Let's not forget that. Now, what is healthy nowadays? Every time I turn around, there's something wrong with the food that we eat. So now cows are running around with bird flu. And I like cheese, guys, because I don't drink regular whole milk. I don't. But I'm pretty sure some of the foods I eat have milk in it. So there's like no escaping it unless you really, really going straight vegan/vegetarian. Guys, comment below, share this post, and let everybody know cows may be infected for now. So the case started in Michigan. Let's just hope it doesn't come to New York State, because this is ridiculous, man. Every time I turn around, there's something wrong with the food or there's something wrong with the animals. Can't win. I'm about to just start eating grass like deers. I gotta go.
I would never, ever encourage anybody ever to become a vegan or a vegetarian. That's just his point of view. I'm a carnivore. I don't eat plants, except maybe a little bit of onion every once in a while. It's just what works best for me. But this is very concerning because last month we talked about this. In some places, we're pulling their dairy products off of the shelves. Your butter, milk, yogurt, cheese, all that fun stuff, right? Coming off the shelves because it was coming from these cows. Now, my concern, of course, is the beef. Is the beef okay to eat? Are they just slaughtering these cows and then we can't eat them? So that's a problem as well. And it going from bird to cow to person, that's a problem. I think there's 2 cases of it now, but how far is it going to go? That's concerning. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. If there's a topic that you would like me to cover, please let me know down in the comments below and I'll do my best to get it in an upcoming video. And if you're having a good time, please hit that like button, consider subscribing, and come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day.
The controversial occultist Aleister Crowley had a deep spiritual connection to an entity that he called Lamb. Many believe that Lamb looks like a gray alien. Lamb's ultimate mission was channeled in Cairo, which means Mars or Camp of Mars in Arabic. Interestingly, like the gray aliens, Crowley was also interested in the degenerative Mars-based creation rites, as he was a main component in the Babylon working, a ceremonial rite that was designed to incarnate the goddess of Babylon into a golem or homunculus.
This Aleister Crowley fella is incredibly interesting. I'm going to do some more research and I'll bring you some stuff. It's fantastic. He did draw this picture of lamb, and this was the beak that he was getting his information from, and he does look an awful lot like a gray alien. And this is from, farther back times. And so he did work on the Babylon working, which was, some magic ceremony to open up a portal. And guess who he worked on it with? L. Ron Hubbard, the father of Scientology, working with this dubbed Satanist. That's fantastic. These religions, they come out of the most interesting places. I mean, Aleister Crowley also made a religion called Thelema. I think it was called Thelema. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but I'm going to do some research and I'm going to bring it to you. It's going to be awesome.
So this is my neighborhood supermarket, and it's so frustrating because the produce always looks this disgusting. And it's so sad because I have to go to a supermarket 20 minutes away just to get decent produce. It's ridiculous. Like, come on. Especially for people really wanting to be intentional about eating healthy, this is what we have to choose from. Do better, man.
So I'm the only carnivore in my family, so I still buy produce for the rest of my family. And I was at the grocery store yesterday and I noticed this. And the produce, the quality has gone down so much, but the prices continue to go up. Is this just in my area, or is it like a seasonal thing? Because I went to another store that charges a lot more for their produce, and their stuff was still sad too. Is this happening in your area, or is it just here? Because it's sad.
In the 19th and 20th centuries, across Ireland, the UK, and other countries, the Magdalene asylums operated in secrecy, hiding a dark chapter in history. Initially established to reform fallen women, the asylums were run by religious orders, most notably the Sisters of the Good Shepherd, with the aim of providing a path to redemption. However, the reality within these institutions was far from benevolent. Women, often labeled as fallen for reasons such as unmarried pregnancy or perceived moral transgressions, found themselves in harsh, punitive environments. The inmates, known as Magdalenes, endured rigorous work, strict discipline, and isolation from the outside world. Those operated with little oversight, and the women inside had limited rights. Families were often unaware of the harsh conditions their loved ones faced. It wasn't until the late 20th century that the dark reality of the Magdalene asylums came to light. Survivors began speaking out, sharing stories of suffering and injustice. In 2013, the Irish government issued an official apology acknowledging the mistreatment suffered by the Magdalenes. The last Magdalene asylum closed in 1996.
It's interesting that that kind of facility went clear into the 90s for just women who became pregnant, out of wedlock, and a lot of times at no fault of their own, or if they were just unruly. But into the 90s? That's insane that it went that far.
Archaeologists will tell you they could build the Great Pyramid, but I defy them to do that. The Great Pyramid is literally impossible. Incredibly sophisticated, incredibly advanced, doing stuff that we just don't know how to do today. And it incorporates all kinds of interesting math. It incorporates pi, which again is supposed to have been discovered by the Greeks. It incorporates the dimensions of the Earth on a particular scale. It's something that doesn't make any sense. It certainly doesn't make sense as the tomb of a megalomaniac pharaoh, which is what we're told it was. I resist these names that archaeologists have applied to the Great Pyramid, Queen's Chamber and King's Chamber. Because it has a sarcophagus in it, and for no other reason, that is said to have been the original burial place of Khufu. It's not enough evidence, in my view.
I love talking about the pyramids and what a marvel they are and how spectacularly difficult and intricate and just designed down to a T they are. It's absolutely incredible. I did pull something about the measurements, and I want to watch that, and we'll talk a little bit more about them.
This thing is just a gigantic mystery. The fact that it incorporates the dimensions of our planet in its key dimensions, that you can take the height of the Great Pyramid and multiply by 43,200 and you get the polar radius of the Earth. You can measure the base perimeter of the Great Pyramid, multiply it by the same number, you get the equatorial circumference of the Earth. I won't bore you, but that number is not a random number. That it relates to the obscure astronomical phenomenon called precession of the equinoxes. Great Pyramid is almost perfectly aligned to true north within 3/60ths of a single degree. 13-acre footprint, 6 million tons, 481 feet high, and aligned to true north with this incredible precision. And it's built on a scale that models the dimensions of the Earth, and that scale is derived from a key motion of the Earth itself. It's very, very clever.
There are these key numbers that recur over and over again. We find them in the Vedas, we find them in the Bible, we find them in Mayan traditions. They were in Sumeria over and over again. And one of those key numbers, what Bert Graham just said, 43,200. Even in the way we still measure time today, if you think about how do we measure the length of one rotation of the Earth on its axis, the meridian lining up with the center of the sun, we've divided that into seconds, right? Minutes, hours. 24 hours is the exact period of the Earth's rotation with respect to the sun, okay? 24 hours times 60 means there's 86,400 seconds exactly in that period. On the moment of vernal equinox, the period of time of darkness and of light are exactly equal, 43,200. That number is the scaling ratio of the pyramid. If we were to take the pyramid as it is today, enlarge it by a factor of 43,200, the height of it is literally within a few hundred feet of being the polar radius of the Earth. And in fact, the range of error is within the range of error of our most accurate modern satellite surveys.
And that information is exactly why I stand firm in my belief that the pyramids were not built by the ancient Egyptians. They were found by the ancient Egyptians because that Bronze Age technology that was available at the time, it could not have completed that to that degree of precision. The mathematics alone, and knowing how big the earth is and its equinoxes and all of that, it's just the radius, it's too much. It's too much. It's incredibly hard to believe that, given what we are told about the availability of information at that time, it's hard to believe that the ancient Egyptians were capable of such an incredible feat. It's just, I don't buy it. I'm not there. That's not me.
Built in 1845, the John Lawson House sits at 9A Main Street in New Hamburg, New York. It is believed to be the oldest house in the city's Main Street Historic District. And it just may also be the creepiest. For a long time, the house was abandoned. Absolutely no one lived there. But there was a bunch of mannequins on the porch that had a habit of changing clothes and moving around on their own. Every single morning, they would be wearing something different and positioned in an entirely different pose. But no one was ever spotted at the house. Locals believed that the dolls had some message to convey or a riddle that needed to be solved. Interestingly enough, in 1871, there was a train crash just 200 feet from the house and 22 people. The mannequins always point in that direction.
That is quite an interesting hobby. Now, my silly brain goes and it automatically draws a picture of a group of frat boys behind this. And then I'm imagining them getting all liquored up and going shopping for female clothes to put on these mannequins. And it turns into a funny story. That's just where my brain went. Doesn't mean that's what's happening. That's just what I thought. Let me know what you think is or who you think is behind this whole creepy mannequin stuff.
All right, so we have to talk about this. If you're unaware, this is the public school grading scale in California. And this is f***ing insane. So according to the grading scale they're using today, 84 to 100 is an A, 64 to 84 is a B, 44 to 64 is a C, 24 to 44 is a D, and anything below 24% is a fail. And if this is how we're going to grade children today, let's just f***ing sell everything to China. Because we're as a society. So I don't know about you, but as my name says, I'm an older millennial. I was born in 83 and graduated high school in 02. And when I went to school, this was my grading scale. The fact this looks like it was on fucking parchment does not help my complex about being old. But regardless, let's look at the difference. So to get an A, I needed a 95 to 100. B was 88 to 94. C was 80 to 87. D was 70 to 79. 69 and below was failing. Which, let's be real, that means the only people that would be passing from my time is the people who are currently getting an A and about half the people who are getting a B. The other half of B, as well as everyone else, would have failed. And for me, on this scale, C is where it gets ridiculous. There are plenty of people out there in my time who were just C-level students. They weren't especially smart, but they also weren't especially dumb. So for me, C was always just the average people. I figured that the average people were able to answer about 80% of the shit they learned correctly. But now you can get more wrong than you do right and still have a C. Like, you have to think, that's what 44% means. That means that of all the questions you were given, you got 56% of them wrong. You got more wrong than you did right, and you're still a C student. That is fucking stupid. And D is even worse, because getting a D in California means that you got 76% of everything wrong, and you're still going to graduate. You have to get 77% of everything wrong to fail. Here's the thing, I don't ever want to work with someone who got 77% of everything wrong. I don't even want to work with somebody who got 56% of everything wrong. Right now in California, these motherfuckers are graduating high school. This is the future generations of our society. We are going to have a generation of people in this country who are graduating high school and college while getting 75% of everything wrong. And that is horrifying.
I'm an older millennial as well. My metrics almost just about exactly match up with his. So there you go, cat's out of the bag, I'm old. My daughter actually just graduated last week, and I'm so proud of her. She worked so hard. She had all A's, and she did so well, and we're excited about her. But the thing is, I was sitting next to my mother-in-law, and I was letting her know that 40% of the class of 2024 from her school didn't graduate. That means they couldn't do more than 25% of the work. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. And this is what the California education system is releasing out into the world for businesses to hire. I own a business. That's what I have to look forward to. I can't have that kind of stuff happening in my business because people will get hurt, like badly, if they can't do 25% of the work. If they can't do, even the ones that graduated could only have 25% accuracy. I can't have that in my workforce. A lot of people can't have that in their workforce. So it's interesting, and it's terrifying, and it's only getting worse. On that note, I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Come on back tomorrow. I'll have new stuff. I'll say different things. It's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.